Thank you. We are getting ready to start our assembly this morning, our Veterans Day assembly, with a video. If you'll please turn your attention to the screen. Thank you.
3 teens were arrested today for defacing the Kensington Park War Memorial overnight. The destruction includes painted messages against the military and the war in the Middle East. The 3 teens were picked up in the early morning hours after evidence was left at the scene.
Grandpa, something wrong?
Some people sure have short memories, and those who are too young to know need to be taught. Come on, I want to show you guys something.
United States of America was morning and welcome students, faculty, staff, school board members, distinguished guests, parents, community members, and most importantly, our veterans to Cleveland High School's 2012 Veterans Day program. My name is Molly McConnell, and I am the Student Government Association President, and it is an honor to be here with you all today. At this time, we would like to recognize a few individuals today in attendance. Please welcome school board members, Doug Moore, Don Robinson, Steve Morgan, George Meachman, State Representative Kevin Brooks, and Director of Schools Dr. Martin Ringstaff, and our Principal, Miss Autumn O'Brien. Ever since July 4th, 1776, our country's birthday has been celebrated all over America. On that day, I'm reminded of how much I love my country and the freedom that we've earned. During the day, people, vehicles, and animals parade down the street, waving flags and rejoicing at the birth of our country. And at night, the glorious colors that represent our country are spread across the sky. Everyone is familiar with Independence Day, but sometimes we take our freedom for granted and also forget to remember those who have made our freedom possible. Those in the Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and Marines, the many that have given their lives for our country. This is why we celebrate Veterans Day. Originally called Armistice Day, it began as a commemoration of the ending of World War I on November 11, 1918. After World War II, it was recognized as a day to pay tribute to all service members, and in 1954, it was renamed Veterans Day. It is one day that is given to all the many men and women who have devoted their lives for our freedom, so we can live our day-to-day lives. I respect and thank all of these individuals who have served our country. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now please welcome Cleveland High School's award-winning choirs, Silhouettes, Harmonia, and Renaissance, directed by Shirley Pace as they sing a melody of patriotic songs. Pew Choirs. Our speaker for today's program is Mr. LaVoy Jones. LaVoy Jones is a Bradley County native and has deep connections to Cleveland High School and Bradley County education. His wife of 42 years, Brenda, graduated in the first graduating class at Cleveland High School in 1967. Brenda and LaVoy have two daughters, Candace Goff, who graduated from Cleveland High School in 1992. She is now the Director of Public Relations at Tennessee Christian Preparatory School, pardon me. His youngest daughter, Stephanie Arnold, graduated from Cleveland High School in 1993, and she is a guidance counselor at Lake Forest Middle School. LaVoy's late mother, Billie Jones Alford, was a teacher at North Lee Elementary for many years, and she was rewarded Teacher of the Year. She was also the only female to receive Alumni of the Year from Lee University. His late uncle, Max Carroll, served on the Cleveland City School Board for Education for 25 years. The new Cleveland High School Science Wing was named in his honor. Upon their retirement, LaVoy's cousin, Steve Morgan, was elected to Max's seat to continue the service of their family to Cleveland City Schools. Currently, LaVoy has two cousins who are teachers in the Cleveland City system. Sherry Carroll Morgan is a criminal justice here at Cleveland High School, and Scott Carroll is an athletic director at Cleveland Middle School. His youngest cousin, Molly Morgan, is a junior here as well. For the past 42 years, LaVoy has worked at Carroll Printing Company in downtown Cleveland. He's also the co-owner. LaVoy attended the University of Tennessee in Knoxville and graduated from Lee University with a degree in education. One of the things that his family is most proud of is his service to our country. LaVoy served as a combat medic in Vietnam. His service began in 1968. Currently, LaVoy is one of the most decorated veterans in Bradley County. His military honors are Bronze Star for Valor, Purple Heart, Combat Medic Badge, Army Commendation Medal, and 3 air medals for making 115 airdrops under incoming fire.
I thought this was going to be a small, intimate setting. I didn't know we'd have our congressman and the school board, and it's just really an honor to be here. I hope you're impressed with my introduction like I am. I'd like to meet LaVoy Jones sometime. I'm going to take you back in time, so get ready. We're going to rewind to 1968. Nixon was president. There's vital power, Woodstock, the Beatles, Elvis Presley, the Supremes, the Commodores. Beverly Hillbillies was #1 on television. And that was 1968. Currently at 68, I was at Lee University finishing up my last semester when I got, which all the veterans have gotten probably at one time or another, greetings, good news, you're going to be in the Army. And that was kind of devastating news for me. Ms. Ringstaff is probably rethinking why I'm here now, because I had so much going on in my life, and I just really didn't have time to serve my country at that time, like UT football games and dating and fraternities, and so I was kind of devastated at the news. Plus, at that time, guys, this was the first war that was on television. And every night we would get the reports of how many casualties and go on and so forth. So I was really, well, kind of nervous about the whole thing. Since I'd never owned a gun or been camping, I said, I don't know if I'm ready for the Army or not, but I really didn't have a choice. In fact, at the post office where they pick you up to take me to Fort Campbell. My fingernails are still in the wall where I said, please, please, I don't want to go. I made it through basic training, and next, at the end of basic training, they give you a list of where you're going to go next. And most everybody got infantry, 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 and when it got to my name, they said medic. I said, medic? What's that? You know, I faint at the sight of blood. This might not be the best choice for me in the world. After some intensive training in medical training school in Fort San Antonio, they sent the entire class to Vietnam. I was hoping I would get a stateside duty at a hospital, maybe, or like in Hawaii or something, but that wasn't meant to be, I guess. I remember our first operation. The guys I were with was an airborne unit, and they had been in a lot of combat. So as a type of vacation, we got to just stay on the post and go outside the post and guard this little friendly village. So I remember it so well. My first operation. I put on everything that the Army issued me, and I had all new, brand new starch, green outfits, new combat boots, an M16 rifle that nobody had yet to taught me how to use. And so here we go, marching through the village. And everybody else was so cool, they had the rifle on the top. Hey, Mama-san, Papa-san, how you doing? And I was like, make one move. If I can find a safety on this rifle, you're done. Well, we set up camp in this little friendly village, and I was kind of shocked at what I saw. There was kids selling us Coca-Colas, some funny-looking cigarettes going on, but I still don't know what's going on that day, but I knew I wasn't in Cleveland anymore. So, on the way back, we caught a ride on a deuce and a half. That's a big truck. And it was actually a laundry truck taking the ladies back to camp to do the laundry. So I was sitting on the back of the truck on all this laundry, and we were kidding around with the ladies that did the laundries and having a good time. It was almost like a party atmosphere. And I was thinking, you know, Vietnam is not all that bad at all. I think I can deal with this kind of duty. And all at once, the truck ran over a mine. It hadn't been mine swept yet, and we got blown. That truck just went up in the air. Fortunately, I was in some laundry bags. I know it saved my life. So later on that night, in a MASH unit, people always ask me where I got wounded. And I always say, well, you know what direction I was going in when I got wounded. As Forrest Gump would say, in the buttocks. This is supposed to be serious, guys. Let's calm down. That night, as I laid on my pillow in the stretcher in the MASH unit, I began to have second thoughts about what I was doing there, and I'm saying, if this is the first day, what's the rest of the year going to be like? And I was saying, I wonder if there's some other option I could do to do my duty or whatever, and I was like, maybe Canada would be a better choice than Vietnam. However, somewhere, sometime in the middle of the night, something happened, and I didn't quite hear angels, and God didn't come down and speak to me, and I didn't hear Gable's horn blowing, but sometime during the night, I knew that I was at the right place, and God had me in Vietnam for a reason, and I was at the right place at the right time in history. to be there, I had a peace come over me that everything was going to be okay. In fact, from the next 365 days, I never did miss a day off. I never did have a bad cold. I never did get a rash. And so, very thankful. I'm going to tell you about the very first real operation, combat operation I had. We got news that there was a platoon that was surrounded by the Viet Cong, and they were in trouble, and they sent this airborne unit to get them out of trouble. So, got on this helicopter, and these rough and tumbly guys all was ready to go down and land, and the lieutenant gave us this information. He said, when you hit the ground, head towards the east wood line, and we're going to regroup there and continue on our mission to rescue this crop. So, here we go. We're in this helicopter, and I noticed everybody was sitting on their helmets. I've been to basic training. I knew helmets went on your head. I said, what's up with this helmet? So the helicopter was really loud, so I yelled to the guys next to me, why is everybody sitting on their helmets? They didn't want to talk to the new guy, so they just pointed to the floorboard, which I saw a bunch of bullet holes. Good idea! We hit the ground, and as soon as we hit the ground, I got as close to the mud as I could get, and as quiet as I could get, even though coming in, there were rockets were going on, M60 machine guns on both sides was firing. I'm like, I think, let's be quiet so they won't know we're coming, you know, instead of letting all these rockets going off. So I looked up. I know you won't believe this, but I was the only one there. The other guys have already hit the ground running and followed the lieutenant, and I was all by myself. And I'm like, psh, psh, where did everybody go? I kept looking around, I could not see anyone, so I'm like, I wonder which way is east in the middle of the night. Well, I picked west. Somehow, to this day, no one knows, I went through the enemy lines and got to the platoon that was surrounded by the Viet Cong, and I walked in, and it's the old who goes out there and said, this is Lavoy Jones, who are you? They took me in, and they took me to the guy in charge, the captain of the platoon, and he said, who the blankety blank are you, and who the blankety blank are you here for? I've come to rescue you. They got on their walkie-talkie radio, and they found my lieutenant, and they said, are you missing a medic? Well, several days later, I met up with my lieutenant, and he got this sergeant, this very big black sergeant, and he said, do not let this man get out of your sight, ever. Well, that black sergeant took this little white skinny boy that knew nothing about warfare, and he became my mentor, and he taught me everything I needed to know to survive in Vietnam. Without this man, I know I wouldn't be alive today. And why he took this special interest in me, I don't know, but it was amazing what he did for me. Okay, page 2, page 3, page 4, we're moving right along. I'm going to give you one example that I'm very hesitant to tell you about, but this was kind of the defining point of my life in Vietnam. We were on an operation, and we were deep in Viet Cong territory. And it was was just a small squad of guys, and we were supposed to get some information and be taken back out by helicopter after spending the night. And on the way in to this very desolate countryside, we began to see North Vietnamese flags. We saw some skulls on poles, and Go Home America. And if those guys were trying to scare me, they were doing a really good job. We ran across this little hutch, and the Viet Cong guys had just left and left their wives, 3 or 4 ladies, and we found a cache of weapons. We found pictures of the Viet Cong, and we knew we were in Viet Cong territory, definitely. So we set up camp that night, and during the middle of the night, the way it works was you have a perimeter, and I was in with a lieutenant and a sergeant, and my job about 2 in the morning was to check on the guys around me, make sure that they were awake. So as I was checking on the guys, I noticed one 3-man perimeter, they had fallen asleep. And what we do when somebody falls asleep is we take rocks and throw them at the guys to wake them up. But before I could get them up, we were overrun by the Viet Cong. They killed all the guys in the perimeter, and they came right upon the lieutenant and I and the sergeant. The lieutenant was shot and rolled off of his hammock and pretty well landed on top of me. The sergeant that was next to me was shot in the leg and was taken out of operation. And so it was me and my M16. I stuck my M16 up, and it was blown out of my hand. Later I found out I had a bullet hole in my canteen. So, what to do? They got about 30 feet from my position, so I called in on the radio, walkie-talkie type thing, which was gigantic. It's not like our cell phones today. And I called in to our artillery company, and we preset our location every night. So, I asked the artillery company to fire a round right on top of our location, which was against regulations. They said, no, we can't do that. I said, yes, you will do that. I said, it's all over anyway. They're 30 feet from where I am. And it's just a matter of seconds. They're going to be here on top of me. So I could hear that round leaving the artillery company, and I got as close as I could to the ground, and miraculously, I mean, this is like a miracle, guys. The round hit about 30 feet in front of me, exactly where the incoming Viet Cong were. And it took out the Viet Cong, and some more rounds came in. I said, next time, don't send it quite this close. But anyway, that next morning, it was like, if I can survive this, I'm going to survive anything over here. So that was my probably most defining moment in Vietnam. 1 week, maybe 15 days before I was ready to leave Vietnam, we got this most amazing thing happen. President Nixon had a secret plan to end the war in Vietnam. It was called the Vietnamization Plan. And that is when you train the Vietnamese and they would eventually take over our place. And that was a great secret plan. I could have told him that about a year ago when I got there. You know, let them fight their own war. But anyway, what came good about it is I got to leave country about 15 to 30 days early, and they flew us in a plane to Saigon, and we met with the president of Vietnam, the vice premier Key, and they lined us up in the parade ground, and then they made a big deal out of the first troops coming home early from Vietnam. They also gave us a present. They gave us some flowers and a little box. And on the way home, back to America, I could hardly wait to open up and see what great present the president of Vietnam gave me. So I opened it up, and it was a song of Vietnamese folk music in Vietnamese. And I was like, yeah, that'll come in handy. We got back and landed in Washington State, and they parade for us, and on the way in they had the Secretary of Defense, and let's see, I almost made Time Magazine, guys. As the plane landed and they were coming down, the guy in front of me got their picture on Time Magazine, and all I got was my hand sticking out giving the peace sign walking down the aisle. But anyway, I almost made it. So that was my tour of Vietnam. I just want to say that I feel humbled to be next to World War II veterans. They were the greatest generation of all times, guys, and I can't compare. There's no way I can compare any of my duty with D-Day or the Pacific, with my Uncle Ralph and Jack and Uncle Luther all served in the Pacific War. And Uncle Jack, Cherry Carroll Morgan's dad, he would often remind me, you know, little boy, we won our war. Thanks, Uncle Jack. But anyway, I have the most respect for the veterans. And I told you that one story just to let you know that the blood that these veterans here in front of me, how they shared and gave up their time, and these people actually volunteered instead of being drafted. And I think how you can honor your veterans is to take advantage of the freedom that they fought for. The freedom to vote, the freedom to worship, to assemble. All these freedoms that you enjoy now, we got from the veterans that you see in front of us now. So God bless you. And I am so optimistic that looking around that this is the next great generation of Americans. And I would like to give to you what veterans do the best. Thank you, Cleveland High School.
Thank you, Mr. LaVoy. Now I'd like to turn it over to Ansley McCarley, our Student Government Association Vice President.
We would like to thank Mr. LaVoy Jones, and as a small token of our appreciation, we would like to present you with this gift. We would now like to honor our veterans, those who are in attendance today, and those who cannot be here. We thank you for your dedication, courage, strength, and honor. Please direct your attention to the center of the floor for our flag presentation. We would like to honor our veterans in attendance today. As I call your name, please join our students around the American flag. Franklin Lemons, Navy. William Lucas Brown, Air Force. Commander Bill Gray, Marine Corps. Reverend Dr. Kenneth Dismukes, Air Force. Robert Green, U.S. Army, Green Beret. Ron Green, Army and Air Force. Kimberly Davis, U.S. Army Military Intelligence. William Jack Brown, U.S. Army. Sergeant Reginald Parker, Sr., U.S. Marine Corps. Gloria Torres, U.S. Army. Eric Byrd, Army. Tom Cloud, U.S. Army. Bedford Smith, U.S. Army. Ryan Montgomery, Army National Reserve. Harry Ledford, U.S. Army. Joe Day, Navy. James Davis, Navy. Tony Pendergrass, Marines. Chuck Elrod, Army. Walter Hyatt, Army. Arnold Humboldt, Army. Wes Taxett, Army.
attending. Mr. O'Brien, the administration, faculty, and staff of Cleveland High School once again showing how great of a high school this is. But let's not forget this wonderful student body with the perfect resignation today. Please give yourselves a hand. So impressed with the way that you were today in the standing ovations without even being called upon, and recognizing our veterans who are wonderful today. Let's give our veterans a hand again. Thank you. He was telling me about the days when he helped the Wright brothers get that plane off the ground down there in North Carolina. And, just kidding, Mr. Meacham, it's good stuff. We do appreciate all that you do and what our veterans do. And what about Ms. Ringstaff putting this together? I have to say something. She is my wife. And congratulations to the SGA and Ms. Ringstaff on putting this together. And Molly doing a fantastic job as always. So thank you, Molly. And LaVoy Jones, Sergeant LaVoy Jones, for what he's done for us. Thank you once again. It is with distinct pleasure I get to welcome one of our dear friends and someone who 16 months ago when I moved to Tennessee introduced himself to me very quickly, and I will tell you, over working with him for 16 months, he truly loves Tennessee and he loves Cleveland High School. His children went here, one is still with us. Mr. Kevin Bush, Representative Kevin Bush, is coming to speak. He is a dear friend. We're glad to have him on our side, and we look forward to many years of him representing Cleveland and Cleveland High School. Mr. Kevin Bush.
Thank you, Dr. Ringstaff. It's great to be here. It's always great to be on this great Raider campus. I have a great love for this school, and especially one of your seniors, Miss Elizabeth Brooks. It's always great to be with you. And what a fantastic opportunity to honor our great Americans, our veterans, from Sergeant LaVoy Jones, who you heard from earlier, to every one of you who are our very special guests, to the men and women who have protected our country, protected our freedom. Every November we pause in America to honor those who have fought for our country and our armed forces. To honor these veterans, we pause here locally in our local governments, our state governments, and our federal governments in Washington. Although Veterans Day is declared just one day a year, I would encourage this next generation of Americans to honor these veterans every day, to take the time to say thank you. Thank you for their service. Thank you for what they've done for our families, for our freedom, and most importantly, for our faith. Maybe one of your family members has served in the military, possibly someone in your church. Take the time every day to thank a veteran. George Washington, a veteran and our first president of the United States, said, "The willingness with which our young people are likely to serve in any war, no matter how justified, will be directly proportional to how they perceive veterans of earlier wars and how those veterans were treated and appreciated by our nation." George Washington also said, "It's impossible to rightly govern without God and the Bible." Today, veterans, I'm so thankful. I'm thankful for what you have done for our country. I'm thankful that thanks to you, we are still one nation under God. And I am thankful for this fantastic school, this patriotic school, this red, white, and blue school that is training up the next generation of Raiders to appreciate this great nation. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. We are so thankful for all of you that are visiting our campus today. Thank you to our distinguished guests. And most importantly, thank you to LaVoy Jones and the rest of our veterans that are here today. It's really important for us that our students get to see examples of modern day heroes. And so we're thankful that you're here to demonstrate that for us. We have all been influenced by a veteran at some point in our lives. And I think if we did a show of hands, we would all say that a veteran has impacted our lives in a positive manner. So we are thankful to you that are here today and those also that are not able to attend. I want to echo Dr. Ringstaff's sentiments with our thanks. One group of unsung heroes in setup is our physical education department. We're thankful for them for getting everything set up this morning. We also want to thank Shirley Pace and the choir for our sound and for a great performance today. And also another group that you see here, our students on the camera. We actually are live streaming right now our Veterans Day program. We have a great live stream program and they're behind the cameras at this time. So those of you that are in the audience and are visiting, if you go to CHS Live, it will be archived down there if you would like to show this to family members since they were probably not able to make it. And then obviously our student government, they did a great job planning it, and Ms. Ringstaff with her first Veterans Day ceremony has done an outstanding job, so we're thankful to them. Most importantly, I want to thank our student body for being the best student body that a principal could ask for. Thank you so much. And as we exit today, I would ask that we have one more round of applause for our veterans and then head to second block. Thank you.
Watch that bar.